Alright, give me a sec. Alright. What made me want to make this podcast is an old friend of mine hit me up after 5 years. And they know what they did, I would have to say. And since the crazy part of this is that people who always come into your life, they always come back. Um, this podcast isn't just gonna be all about them. It's gonna be about how I took it into action. That's why I'm calling this podcast My Thoughts Became My Reality by period or dot 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 if you want to put it in that way. Before I jump into this podcast, my podcast isn't made for everyone, and for the audience that do listen in, I just want to thank you and appreciate the time in listening to this podcast. And yes, I have a hat on because I am sick, but usually I try my best to post weekly if I can. If not, then it is what it is. But well, let's get into it. What's been on my mind recently is how frequently I'd question why my friends would bully me and try to bring my self-esteem down. Back in the at some point, and towards the end, I'll talk about how I'm gonna continue this into another podcast because it's a very long story, and I wanted to tell you guys the timeline, and I don't want my um channel or podcast to be about drama or talking bad about people. But to be honest, sometimes it will have to come to that point because it gives me ideas where I want to speak. And the people I listen to is I'll name some like Mel Robbins, Emma Chamberlain, etc., etc. Liz Wizards too. Otherwise, yeah, yeah. It just somehow they bring other people around me to do the same to bring my self esteem down. As growing up, I did want to be liked by other people, and it's crazy how I did get there, but felt bad for bullying kids as well because I was able to get other people to like me just because of what I did to bring other people's self esteem. But it kind of made me reflect. So, over time, I did realize that I was hurting people and that wasn't my intent. It was just to be liked by other people. And that phase of my life went by. It showed me that the studies in self esteem and boundaries research show me that tolerance or repeated disrespect correlates with lower self esteem. And that really hit me because it really triggered something in me where, oh, having low self esteem leads to this and that. And look at the study of how it could emotionally draining. Let's put it in that way. And what happens when you continue to tolerate something? It begins to make you question the truth. And every dismissal or betrayal chips away at your belief in your inherent value. You're not violating the truth within you. You're tolerating their actions rather than violating your truth. So what I'm trying to say is that your voice in you is the truth. Your truth in you is their intuition. The intuition, the part of you that has your back is saying that when you tolerate that, what happens is your intuition is being dug deep down. The bigger hole you put down your intuition, the more disrespect that you're taking, it gets you as more confused and even more confused, leading you to not trusting yourself because of the low self-esteem that you have. Why do you think successful people do not care? Alright. As an old friend of mine, who I thought was my old friend, once told me, you should trust in yourself a little more. Like, for example, I'm not a strong reader. Ever since I came to a school district in Wisconsin, I was told I had a really strong accent, and I really did, because English wasn't my first language. And yes, I was born in the US, but my parents, they English wasn't their first language, let's say that. And so basically they spoke Hmong to me. And but as kids around me would treat me like a foreign exchange student, except one person, and I really respect that individual. And if they're listening to this, they probably know who they are. Um, Otherwise, back to my old friend saying to trust myself more. Once I did that, I built the foundation to feel more confident, to bring my low self-esteem back to high self-esteem, making it all make sense at the end of the day. At the end of the day, because when I had low self-esteem and my intuition was being buried every day, each day, when I went to school or when I saw them, when I hung out with them, I was screaming for help every day. I didn't know how, but I was screaming for help. Because that thought that you talk to yourself, that person that you talk to yourself, behind everything, you know, because your intuition is guiding you. And when I felt that disrespect and when I was tolerating it, I didn't want to go back. But this was the day I seemed to go after God. I'm a Christian. So this is the day when I asked God, and I asked God, I was like, hey, how can he help me? I'm going through this, I'm struggling through this. And after that day, life became a little better. This was around COVID too. I was doing this podcast and content stuff, but then, Asian hate really got to me. I was doing this and the hatred really got to me. I started off on Musical.ly. That gives you an idea where I started. It's just crazy how now people want to hit me up and kind of tell me, oh, you know what, actually, I'm going to take that back. I'm not going to lead to that path. Back to my old friends from 5 years ago. I can't believe she left me for a girl and messed up our friendship. Because she did indeed tell that girl to play me, but the girl caught feelings. And I was a genuine person. That person said it themselves. But you know what? You got cheated on with a dude. And I'm not surprised, because all I have to say is bad things happen to evil people. So I'm not surprised you contained hoeing around after that, because when you called me a few days ago, I was on the phone listening to you cry and vent. And hold on. I didn't have anyone to run to when you left me. I felt that shit because you ran away like a scared bitch. Oh my god, respectfully, I'm not surprised if your ex is going to see this, because didn't you tell me you two were making fun of my fits and podcast? Well, look at me. I'm still going to do the shit that I want to do. And my style is fantastic, because at least I had the confidence to post myself, unlike you. You needed my validation to post yourself when you sent me that photo, saying, oh, am I mid? Oh, am I ugly? Oh, am I this or that? I was just feeding into your ego, saying, I miss you, Liz. You seriously think I did too? No, brother. No, brother. Self-respect for me? The people I left 5 years ago are there for a reason. 5 years ago, I was partying, being a fucking loser, doing nothing with my life, and I wasn't even working. I was doing nothing in my life 5 years ago. 5 years ago, I was letting people push me around, use me for my money, use me for this and that. Anyways, I just want to give out a message for this story. Out of respect for myself and yourself. When someone from years ago hits you up and knowing you're doing better, there is something that they want out of you. Stay with me now. No one wants to watch you more than those who want to be you. Remember, let's keep it going. Those who stalk you but may not like you are still your fans. Because, you know what? They're still watching you. About her ex, I accidentally ran into her at an event. And your ex left crying when she saw me because she wasn't there at the stand. My dad was right next to me. Did I do anything? I just paused and smiled. But then she was glaring at me. And the hell did I do? Continue my day. Because I was there for my family. I wonder why. Probably because she pawned my brother's necklace. My brother's silver necklace. Or sorry, let me not get into that detail now. Didn't you tell me that? Or how did I find out? Anyways. Isn't life ironic when you have so many stories to tell and it's a lesson learned? It's ironic. You attract what you are. That's why my circle's small. I have successful friends. I have friends who are training for the Olympics. I have friends who focus on cars. I have friends who are so smart. I have friends, this and that. But my circle's small because you know what? I don't like surrounding myself around people who don't have anything going for themselves. Because when you have friends, it's kind of like a relationship. But first of all, we don't need to get into that yet. Because you know what? I can say that for another podcast. Anyways. Why do you think successful people don't have time to gossip the past and only have time to move forward? I have plenty of social networking I do and network. I met many people who make millions and they're my friend. I stay in contact with them. I met their kids that are my age. I met them. I become friends with them as well. You know what? They're making millions. They're where I want to be. Why do I want to be a millionaire? Because I want the freedom. I don't want the wealth. I want to feel freedom. The freedom to travel, the freedom to experience things. When you travel, you're able to develop this mindset of wealth. There's a difference between wealth and rich. And you guys can look that up for yourself. Or else I'll save it for another podcast. Alright. Because honestly, someone who told me that evil things happen to evil people. And I truly agree. Because one person told me that my podcast needs to be set up. But I think if you don't understand where I'm coming from with my podcast, your mind mentally is not screwed to see where my podcast is going. Because when you see other podcasts, they're not set up. And I don't have time to plan for something set up, introduction or anything. I kind of do what I gotta do. Because, you know what? I'm just starting out. I'm going somewhere. I have the confidence to post now. And you know what? I have my own life. Without the confidence, I was busy beforehand. And yes, let's go back to the message I have for you guys. I have to give out that doesn't involve the scenario, but note this. Watch your thoughts, they become your words. Watch your actions, they produce your future. This man said, it's like everything we think becomes into existence. It's not a quote that is mine. These are quotes that I took from people I know and the internet. Because you know what? Sometimes the feed is really good for you. It just depends how you want to feel your fucking brain. Or be a fucking brain rot, what you guys fucking call it these days. Because honestly, I'm not on social media that much. Probably Instagram is the most social media I'll be on. Maybe TikTok, but it's probably just for news and shit. But anyways, because at the end of the day, just say that you're insecure and some lazy individual who loves talking shit about people. I understand that everyone goes through things, but I guess evil things happen to evil people. Because I feel like this year, the universe or God has been exposing people who are good. And it's really going to get to you one day. Think about that. So God removed to replace. That one thing I'm certain about God is he will never take something away from you without the intention of replacing it with something bigger and better. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. That's what he does. As maybe you're feeling frustrated, overwhelmed, lost, or going through a heartbreak, and unsure what's going to happen next. He will never leave you empty. He will never leave you empty. Yes, it does take a lot of faith to say, let's quote this. Yes, God has something better for me. Something you have to look back and look at God, or look at what God has already done for you in the past, as he'll never give you peace so you don't settle there. Alright, simple. Ask God to reveal someone's true colors, but you may be blinded, excited, and surprised because once God gives you that answer, each time you will feel relief. Relief like it's a feeling that can't be explained, but for some reason, nowadays it's impossible for someone to be honest and face their true colors. But when God revealed someone's true colors, it's so relieving that you don't have to seek anymore. Now you know you can move on and allow real individuals to have access to you. A quote that I have from Mel Robbins is the let them theory. I haven't read her book, but her podcast is so good. I'm going to say a part 2, but I'm going to call the second podcast, the part 2, focus. So all I have to say is that I did get off topic, but it's just something that has to be said because so many people have these discussions with people or just don't. So part 2 may go more in depth, but it's going to be a timeline on how I locked the fuck in and grow my self-esteem, built the I don't give a fuck mindsets, and became where I'm at now. And this podcast was to speak down on those who did me wrong, as I was on the urge of revenge physically, but it wasn't going to give me my answer nor make me feel better. Lock the fuck in, grow my self-esteem, build the I don't give a fuck mindset, and become where I'm at now. This podcast is not to speak down on people. It's just to help you see others' point of views and my point of view of experiences. And don't be the type to give revenge physically, because that does not do anything. What you can do is grow as an individual, outgrow people, because I outgrew people who were good people, but our lifestyles weren't the same. And sometimes when they're right here and you're going right here, or you're right here and they're just slowly going a little faster than you, and you guys just don't align anymore in life. Where for me, I was right here, and a lot of people that I know, were down here, and I was just slowly growing, and they were just right here. But then I just slowly became quicker. But you just, I don't know, it's just how life is, because you don't have time to have so much people in your life. Yes, it's different when you network, but that's a different story. I just want to end this podcast with what Leo Skepi says. I don't know if I'm saying his last name right, but I know his first name is Leo. Um, well, allow your absence to remind them of their fucking place. That's all it's going to take when you withdraw yourself. Remove access from you. Your absence will remind them of your value. So don't fight them. Don't critique them. If someone is just like stranding you along, or they're giving you the bare minimum, when you're giving them the world, that is disrespectful to yourself to keep going. You need to have an ego in that situation. When he says ego, it varies on how you have your ego. Because it is good to have ego, because that gives you to thrive. Back to the quote. Ego that is in that situation. What the fuck do you look like giving so much to somebody? You can't even give the bare minimum. Can't even text you back. Can't even make a plan. That's the quote. Lastly, when you're emotionally intelligent, individuals should stop taking things personally, because hurt people hurt people. Remember that. As you may see, some people are wrapped up in an adult or developed body that has never healed, and it doesn't excuse their behavior, but it does explain it, making you understand that you can't hate them because they are the way they are. Fun fact, no one is really healed, and we're all stuck in a 3-year-old body mentally. Otherwise, have a good one. Have a good night. I usually do my podcast at late at night because I'm always busy. And it's Friday, August 8th. 10:23. So I'm gonna do my edit. Peace out.